Hello everyone, it's Cherie. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing Margaret Miller's collage challenge. And in the collage challenge, she gives you a list of prompts to use, and then you collage with them. So one of the prompts was a group of 3. So I'm using these old photos of my daughter and my nieces together. And the other items were a playing card, a group of 3, something with a bumpy surface, something that splashes, buttons, real drawn or stamped, and the bonus was a person, people. So I guess a group of 3 and the bonus are basically the same thing for me. So this is the first time that I'm using this journal. Finally, I'm so excited, happy that I actually get to use it, and or have the time to use it. And so that card there is kind of raised, or it's raised. So that was like part of the what I'm going to use for the bumpy surface. And then I had a bunch of photos, so I knew I was probably going to want to add tip in a page, and I decided to go with this envelope because I like the little pocket, the junk mail envelope. I just have what you saw, a little folder in my drawer that I keep junk mail envelopes in, and for when I want to use them. And I just felt like using the junk mail envelope today. And then I also have this little folder, and it's got a bunch of scraps, like my favorite scraps. I have a bin underneath my desk right by my feet of scraps. And then I have this little folder, and it's where I put like my favorite ones. My favorite scrap papers or scrap ledger papers, or just anything that is small and I think I might use in my journal. So I pulled out that piece there and glued it down the edge, and then I was thinking I could put some ledger paper down to do my journaling on, which I don't end up journaling on it, but that was my thought at this time, was that I would stick a scrap of ledger there and use that to write on. So, and then this is, I went through my stash of vintage wrapping paper because it's been so long since I've been in my journal that when I take a long break like that and I don't get to journal, and then I get back into my journal, I get overexcited and just want to use like everything that I have on one page, or just use a lot of stuff. I don't know, sometimes it gets overwhelming, so I want to do it all. But yeah, so I pulled out that wrapping paper, which is gorgeous. It's so pretty and I love it. And I just tore a little cluster of flowers and thought that I would use it to cover up that white space at the bottom of the envelope. And then I just inked a little bit around the edges of the wrapping paper and the envelope, and I really like how that turned out. But I was not paying attention to the length of the envelope and how much taller it was than my actual journal, so I later on have to trim it down a little bit, and you'll see that. So that's my little tin of my playing cards, so I've got them out to use in this spread as well. So I was kind of feeling flowery. I wanted to use a bunch of flowers, florals. So I'm just kind of digging through my cards and just picking out some that I thought maybe I would use. I wasn't sure where. I was kind of thinking maybe I would use it to cover up the not the white space, the print on the envelope, and maybe make like a little pocket out of it. But I didn't end up doing that. So then I was like, well, I had just recently got this Big Shot, and I was like, let me try this out and see how this works, or the Sizzix. And yeah, I like it. So I embossed that, and it's nice and florally and pretty and fun. So that's what I mean. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna use this because I just got it. I actually got it at a like a craft yard sale, which is where I get a lot of my stuff from. And then one of the prompts was something that splashes, and there's no obviously water theme to these pictures, so paint splashes. So I was like, I'll go ahead and use some paint. And I'm, I don't really paint. I just blob it on there, for color. And that's kind of what I did. I just spread it around. I'm not a painter artist by any means, but it's just fun to play with. So I just kind of took some, I was just looking for colors that were similar to what they were wearing. And these paints, they're just a cheapo set from like Michael's. And they have a little shimmer to them. So it's very girly and I liked it. So I just spread around a bunch of different paint. There was no rhyme or reason to it. And then I decided to go ahead and use some Heidi Swapp Color Shine to sprinkle that on as well, some blue. And I liked using the blue because it's my daughter's favorite color. She loves blue. Everything she wants blue all the time. So yeah, so I decorated my little envelope and I'm happy with how that looks. And that's the reason why, now see there, I realized, oh man, it's a lot taller than my journal. So I trimmed it down and then I just stitched all the way around it. And then here's another piece of vintage wrapping paper, another piece of my favorite wrapping paper. And I like the colors, so I decided I would go ahead and cover up that yellow page there. And then the opposite page, that green, it's like a greenish blue pattern there. It's a crepe paper, I believe. It's pretty old paper, but it's one of my favorites. And I didn't really want to cover that up that much because I just love the pattern on it. It's so pretty. And so I just glued that down there. And my photos, they're, like I said, they're of my daughter and my nieces, and they're pretty old. They're like 3 years old. And it's when they used to live quite far away from us, and they moved to our town. So like the whole family's together in one town now, pretty much. And everybody was so excited that they were here, and the girls were so happy that they would get to see each other regularly. And I went over to my brother's house one morning when they first moved in, and I think it was like to help them unpack or something. And the girls, they were just cheesing away. They were just so happy to be with each other. It was so cute. So I have these other photos here, and one of them has 3, and the other one is just of my daughter Abby and her cousin Lisa. And I wanted to put them in that card, but I didn't want to just stick them in there. I wanted to kind of make just a little bit of a background. And I've been on like a printing spree lately with linens, so I'm pretty sure these are all my linens in my shop, which I'll leave a link for that below as well. And yeah, so I just was printing away the other day, and so I'm just digging through trying to find some that I think might go, or that I might like to use. And I went with this blue and pink one because it matches the colors. I really like it. I think it's in a little girl kit, but I'm not 100% sure. So, and then my kits, they come with linens and papers and different ephemera pieces, so it's not just linens. They're like all mixed different things in there. And then I like this little pink one too, so I cut them both out, and there was quite a bit of white space underneath that pink one, so I just pulled out some washi and stuck that underneath just to fill that gap of white space a little bit with this washi tape. It had some pretty blue flowers on it. And then I put the photos on there, but I still didn't like how they looked. I thought, well, they need to be backed on something. They need some sort of photo map. So I pulled out my scraps again and just kind of found a couple of scraps that I could map the photos on. And yeah, and I used that. So I was having a lot of fun. And it's so good to be back in my craft room, actually working in my journal. It feels so nice. And I've got so much catching up to do. It's ridiculous. So much. And then I put a lot of tape on this card because it was pretty heavy with those photos. And so I just like taped the heck out of the back of that card and stuck it down there. And that's a little cute little vintage card. So I've got my group of 3, I've got my bumpy surface, I've got the bumpy surface with the card and the envelope, since I embossed it as bumpy as well, and my splash with the paint. So now I'm looking at these cards, and I'm trying to pick out which one I want. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this bottom area underneath the photo yet, because like I said, I really like that paper, and I didn't want to cover it up, or cover all of it up. And then I had this little scrap from a book. It's actually the title of the book, and it says "Childhood is a Time of Innocence." And I just thought it went with the photos. And I was thinking about just gluing it down, but like I said, it covered up a lot of that paper. So I just glued it on the back of this card. And then I was thinking, okay, so what am I going to do with this card now? Card needs some sort of place to go. I could have put it in the envelope, but then it wouldn't be a part of the collage. I mean, it would be, but I had this little vellum piece, and I was thinking I could make a pocket out of it, and I actually really like how that looks, but I don't end up using that. And I was like, well, when I was working with it, I wasn't really feeling it. And then that's the prompt list there. So I just glued that on the back of a Project Life card and thought I could do some journaling on the back of that. So I just went in my stash and I grabbed a full-size sheet of vellum and then just trimmed it down. And so then that way the paper still shows through whenever you pull the card out. And I really like how that looks. And I stitched around the vellum pocket, and I stitched around the card as well. And then I had this die cut. It was actually just sitting on my desk, and I thought, well, I'll just keep up with the bird theme because we got birds on the card on the other page, and I'll just put this cute little bird down here as well. So I put a little piece of floral washi and that little label sticker, just so it would, have something to rest on, and so the bird didn't look like it was floating in the air. And then I have this transparent quote sticker, and it says joy. And I was thinking that I would write on it, but then I decided not to, just because I like the way that the embossed envelope looked, so I didn't really want to distract from that. And I knew that if I tried to write on that, my writing would probably be all wonky because it was so bumpy. So I'm just gluing my little bird down, and then that's just like a little piece from one of Johanna's kits, one that I had purchased fairly recently. It's her hand-drawn kit, one of them anyways, and I really like it a lot, and it was still sitting on a little dish on my desk. So I glued that down, and then these are my buttons. So I have these brads that look like buttons, and then I also had a little fancy pants buttons thing as well. And then these are just some little word stickers, phrase stickers, and that one says life is good. And then there's another one that says I love you, a little tiny one. And happiness. And see, there's to the left is my pack of fancy pants button set. Happy Go Lucky, that's the name of it. And I don't think I had used any of them before, and they're all on like pop dots. But I pulled the pop dots off. So then I decided to use that brad. I like the blue and I like the flower on it. I felt like it just went along with everything. So I just put a little lace, a little scrap of lace down there and poked that button through. And yeah, I really like how that looks. It's a little bulky, but it's the first journaling, so it's okay. It can get bulky to begin with. And then, like I said, I pulled the pop dot part off of those fancy pants buttons and just stuck a little piece of cord through the inside of the button and tied it off, and then added a few more stickers. One says "My Friends" and the other says "Cheerful." So then I just pulled the project life card out that I put the list of prompts on, and I did a little bit of journaling. I didn't do a whole lot because, like I said, I'm pretty sure I've documented these photos before, but I really love them and they make me happy, so I don't mind having them in my journals multiple times. So I'm just showing you the things that I used, and I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. And I hope that y'all have a blessed day, and I will catch you in the next one. And just so you know, I've got a giveaway coming up, so keep your eyes open. All right, y'all be blessed, and I will talk to you later.